Hello viewers, Super GT here. We have some very, very sad news in the racing game world. Forza Motorsport 7 is reaching the end of its life. It's now on its deathbed, and in a matter of weeks, it will be sent into the Shadow Realm. RIP in very many pieces, mate. This means we must dress up in our crash test dummy suit and get back out on track for one last final hurrah. If the game connects to the server, that is, which it didn't. Okay, let's try again, shall we? We've resumed the game, connecting to the game server, the spinny circle of... Oh, we're in. Okay, we can finally do an actual race. And that race is going to be here. Well, I say that race. We're going to do multiple races, not just one. Okay, this race is at Sebring. Classic Forza Motorsport circuit, this one. As we head into turn 1 in the Corvette. And would you look at that? Would you look at that? That was a clean start with 0 collisions. And I can't quite... Well, I was going to say I can't quite believe my eyes, but there were some collisions behind, so it wasn't absolutely clean. Through turn 2, through turn 3, through turn 4. All seems rather well. In fact, I'm almost not convinced this is Forza because that was far too clean. At the end of the race, we came through to win.
Oh, yes!
The next race was at Sebring, which is rather frustrating. We still have some problems to iron out in this game, which will never be ironed out because it's about to die. Such as the vote system coming up with the same track twice. Very, very frustrating. There you go. This time around we're using the good old reliable Ford GT, one of my favourite cars. But nothing really to report, just a very, very mundane, boring second place. So there you go. We therefore move on to the next race here at Suzuka. Brilliant circuit, this one. And we're going to see what we can do in the Lotus xxxx with the wobbly wing. Alright, into turn 1, past got stance I do. What a guy. Through turn 1, through turn 2, Frenchman out of nowhere. Never expect a Frenchman to come flying through turn 2. And our initial fantastic getaway is all scuppered. We're back down into 7th immediately. Frenchman and got stance getting all tangled with each other, and then we're going to get tangled with this KTM crossbow, and it's not going to look particularly pretty. Down the main straight we go. Muttley there with basically no pace. I could run quicker than that. Into turn 1 we reclaim our 5th place, and we're going to turn our attention to the guys in front, because that's what you're trying to do really in racing. You're trying to finish in as high a position as you possibly can. Through turn 1, through turn 2, and a lovely example of the sticky physics. I think this video really highlights many of the issues that Forza 7 has, apart from all the bugs and glitches which plagued it in its early days, which thankfully aren't here now, but it still shows many problems that still exist. This guy's main problem is that he tried to go straight on at a left-hander, which isn't ideal. I'd recommend turning left on left-handers, but you know, each their own, and maybe he'll make that strategy work one day. We caught up with NWR Tadpole, and it wasn't really in my knowledge that tadpoles could race on this game, but there you go. And we're going to try and go around the outside. Nice little side-by-side racing here, and we're going to take over 2nd position, which was a nice little tidy comeback. Starting about 7th, I think it was. D Scuderia 21 following us through there. And I managed to hold on to finish in 2nd. Amazing stuff. So look at this fine choice of awful circuits for the next race. Luckily, everyone went random. And some cars started humping each other. So if you are below 18 years old, please do look away for this section of the video, because this is deeply inappropriate content. And yet another glitch that needs to be fixed. And then this car's just resting on the top of the other one, as it does in the motorsport world. Okay, we are now in the Viper around Dubai. classic track. Classic for being so bad. And, well, let's see what we can do. So for those wondering what is even going on with Forza 7, what is this whole thing? Well, end of life, you know, what does that mean? Well, it means it's going to die. That's basically what that means. All it really means is if you don't have the game, if you haven't bought it before there's some day in September, then you won't be able to buy it. Same goes for the DLC. They're just going to remove it from the store, essentially, and resign it to the history books. So if you would like to get your chance to buy this game, get punted off online a million times and experience a bunch of bugs and glitches, then you don't have long left in order to make your purchase. If not, you could just live the game through me, through these videos, and just experience what it's like. And that is basically just a load of crashes and carnage and the odd bit of good racing. It does happen, believe it or not. You can get the good racing, and we've had many actually very, very good races on Forza over the years. Lots of very bad ones as well, must be said. But yeah, if you want to experience it all, you haven't got long left. Let's do hope that the next Forza Motorsport installment isn't too far away, but with plenty of fixes, all of the problems. We'll see what happens. Alrighty then. We are here at Dubai, second lap. We're in the lead, so we're doing okay. We are doing okay, but we have our good friend D Scuderia 21 on our tail once again. Clearly a very fast driver. We're going to try our best to keep him at bay. Coming up towards the twisty bit, he's in his favoured Ferrari, clearly a fan of the Italian brand. We're going to go left here, make him go to the right, which is going to be the outside for this little section. And there's no way around there quite. I'm going to give him the space just. But I get the drive on the exit, and we keep the position. Absolutely stunning stuff. So yeah, it's been a while since my last Forza 7 video. In fact, I think I said maybe about a year ago, possibly my last final Forza video or something along those lines. And here we are with another one. So I completely clickbaited you on that previous occasion. Apologies for that. But the game was just too compelling for me to stay away. Okay, next up, we arrive in South America, in Rio. Take a look in the background of this shot, at the crotch of the... Whoa, what's going on there? Couple more mounting incidents in the back of the shot. Okay, whatever that was, I don't know. But let's move on to the race. And can we have a nice clean one here at Rio? Christ the Redeemer looking down upon us and bestowing upon us a clean start, which is absolutely incredible. Christianity is real. Okay, past those two guys. And then into this corner, I'm going to find my maker by going straight into this wall and ending my career. There we go. Sent to the Shadow Realm. Well, we do actually manage to continue. In one of the rare occasions that someone comes back from the Shadow Realm. Doesn't happen often. But you've just seen it there, kids. Right, into the Love Tunnel here at Rio. What's going to go on here? A little bit of rubbing with True OG 804. What a guy. And then we're going to rub against Fat Man 8877, who then sees the wall. And coming up through this long looping left, we're going to have this guy come flying in. The Brazilian in the Audi on home ground. And then we have 3 abreast coming up the hill just in front. It's not ideal. Not an ideal situation for them to be in. We're going to get this Lotus on the exit and the BMW. Absolutely fantastic. We're up into 9th. And then a late lunge against the American, who was frankly caught napping there on the brakes. Down the hill against the other Viper. And we're up into 7th place with plenty of cars immediately in front, within which we could potentially try and overtake in the next 2.5 laps before this race ends. Now, do let me know in the comments the things you would like to see changed for the next game. I'm sure there are many things. So if your list is more than 10 things, which it may well be, let's try and keep it down to 2 or 3. So for me personally, I think we need a slight more serious tone to the game. It doesn't have to be like iRacing. I'm not talking like that. Oh, was that the guy behind getting slammed into the wall? I think it was. But just, you know, maybe a proper tyre wear system, a proper set of tyre compounds, that kind of thing. Then maybe just brush up on the physics a little bit so they're not as arcadey. I'm not saying make them full sim, of course, but just make them a little bit more sim. Just a tiny bit. You know, like 3% more. Something like that. And then another one would be... there's so many little things, isn't there? Another one might be all of the stupid debris that you get on the track, like all the tyres, all of the cones and all that kind of stuff. Oh, that guy's just come back from the Shadow Realms again. Wasn't he just crashed into the wall? Whoa, G-Scuderia. Just parking it on the apex, and he looks like he's done for the day. Parking up, wants no further part. Big mistake from him. But yeah, there's plenty of things we can fix in the world of Forza Motorsport, and let's just hope the next game comes out actually working. That would be amazing, wouldn't it? If it actually worked, which this game clearly didn't. But here we are, still playing it, about 400 years later. No wonder it's still on its deathbed. It's been a long time that this game has been out. And coming through here, 3 abreast, probably not going to work. Oh, actually, fantastic move there by Far Nord RMA. But we are going to come back at him on the exit of... Whoa, on the exit of this lap, and he's lagging all over the place there, it seems, into turn 1, and we've overcooked it. He's going to nip underneath and take a much better line, much better line there. But then coming up here, I don't know if you know this, guys, but you can buy discos in a range of beautiful flavours. It's a really delicious snack, one of my favourites. And as we come down here, I'll tell you about the flavours there. Salt and vinegar, cheese and onion, and prawn cocktail. So just wanted to let you know that those snacks are available. Hashtag not sponsored. Then we actually came through to finish second in a totally legitimate race. Totally legitimate. Jesus, I can't talk. What I wanted to do here is check my messages. It's been a while. So this guy is asking me, is there going to be another vid on Forza? Well, yes, because you're watching it right now. And then this one says, hi, Steve. I know you won't see this. Well, I am seeing it. But you're my favourite YouTuber, and that you're my inspiration to keep on doing karting. Thank you for making excellent videos, and I hope you enjoy this fine evening. Well, what a beautiful message that was. I replied by telling him I loved him. Never mind the fact that I aired him about 1,000 times before, but eventually we got to the correct conclusion there. We did try and get back online, and that was quite a tricky thing to achieve. We did eventually manage to do it, though. We return to the Emirates. We're back in Dubai for a race in A class this time. Probably my second favourite class after S class. So let's give it a jolly good go, shall we? As we head down the hill into the tunnel. And we've gone for the Porsche. When I say I've gone for the Porsche, what I actually mean is I joined the lobby so late that I didn't have a choice to choose a car. So I had to choose this car. Punting that Ferrari into the wall, so I thought I'd just wait here and let him go back past. Hot Rod G into the back of me, and then the average Fat A goes back past. As we wind round into this bit with the sand on it, cool gimmick there. And this BMW says hello to the sand. We get a nice little punt in the rear end. So top 4 have said goodbye. They've checked out already. But we've got a really rather close race here between about 8 of us. 3 abreast here. Nearly 4. And this probably will not end well. We've got the Hot Rod G on the inside. And then Mr. Average Fat A on the outside. Oh, and we've got someone else popping into the party. A little bit wide here. We've got a Frenchman coming through in the Maserati. We're going to undercut him nicely on the exit. There's a helicopter dangerously close to the circuit there. And then we found ourselves in 5th position. Absolutely incredible. Now, this is what I was talking about, the stupid debris on the track. Look at this. Some tyre and then some silly cone. Just completely spins me out. Combine that with a lack of talent and then you're round before you know it. And we find ourselves, therefore, dropping down the order into 9th place here. Just getting back into 8th as we cross the line for lap 2. Ferrari, Audi here battling. It's been a race-long battle between the three of us. And then we catch back up to the Frenchman. And we make contact, but I'm pretty sure he was going to visit the sand anyway. So we're going to call that a driver error on his part, which is being very lenient to me. But we finished that race and we find ourselves here at Le Mans. This is all about choosing a car which has all the acceleration speed in the world, but 0 handling and 0 brakes. Because, of course, the nature of the circuit has, well, it's very long straights, as we can demonstrate here. So, find ourselves here, 4th gear in A-class, revving out, shifting up into 5th gear at 190 miles an hour. And this is surely a recipe for carnage into the next braking zone. And because it's dark, I can't really spot my braking zone. As you can see, we go flying way past the corner. And we take the alternative Joker lap going through the tyres. And, okay, well, we've learnt our lesson there. We know to brake a lot earlier. For example, this, as we come into the 2nd chicane. And it looks like I'm not the only one who's met this fate of not being able to brake at all. How about this corner at the end of the Mulsanne straight? Well, it looks like we've sorted ourselves out there. We braked about 8 years in advance for that one, and it seemed to be fine. So that's the strategy now. Brake 8 years in advance. But this time I only braked 7 years in advance, and you can see we find ourselves in the sand. This guy just wants to visit the tyre wall and the Shadow Realm, so we'll let him do that. But then at the end of the lap, I braked 6 years in advance, and that happened, and we finish in 5th. Okay, not a great race. Pretty awful, if we're being honest. But this brings us on to Catalunya National. This is one of the worst first corners in the game. Do let me know your worst first corner. Catalunya National turn 1 is pretty bad, as we can demonstrate here. Actually, we're going to nip up the inside, but then we're going to get Forza Physics. And yeah, I can promise you I was turning right the whole time there, but just the way that the game works, you get stuck on someone, then boom, you're going straight. That's just the way that this game is. Oh, and he's off the TVR into the barrier. And we're going to progress forward here into the hairpin now. And we're going to make contact with Ren 70. Awkward contact. We're going to back out of it eventually, and he can straighten himself up. Tidy little pit maneuver attempt. We're going to go past the Alpha 33 Stradale into the first corner, lap number 2. And this is what happens when you brake on time in Forza. You just get rammed straight on. And the Alpha comes straight back at us. So let's see if we can get back past him. He goes around that corner a little bit narrow. We're going to go a little bit wide, if anything. And we're going to battle here for 7th place up the hill. And he's going to tuck in just ahead. Now this is where things begin to descend into anarchy, as we have this Italian coming back onto the track. And it's just really that's probably the worst 3 seconds of racing you've ever seen in your life. And then this is the worst 6 seconds of racing, because the Italian comes out of nowhere and punches off into the MotoGP loop. He goes for a bit of a drift session, so I think, okay, well, I was considering the revenge punt, but he just kind of drove like crap anyway, so I didn't really need to do anything to him. Send it up the inside big time against the Frenchman, and then just a little bit further on into the race, beginning of lap 3 now. Exactly the same thing. Frenchman into your rear end, and before you know it, you're off the track. But it wasn't about to stop there, because another one of my European neighbours was about to come in and fully end my Forza career. And, well, the game is about to die. It is now dead to me, so I'm quitting. I'll catch you all next time. Goodbye.